Okay, ayan. So, do you see my screen now?
Yes
Yes
po.
po, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Good morning again, everyone. Okay, so we have here, um, okay, the sampling. Okay, so let's start with your sampling design. Okay, so kailan natin to gagamitin? So, as a student, uh, most of us will be doing our research paper or our thesis. And one important part of conducting your thesis is when you do the data gathering. And when you do the data gathering, it's important that you have to know your sampling design. Okay, so ano bang meron sa sampling design? So sabi dito, this refers to the plans and methods to be followed in selecting sample from the target population and the estimation technique formula for computing the sample statistics. So basically, the sampling design part will discuss ano ba yun, uh, sam sampling method that you're going to use and the sample size determination formula. Okay? Okay, so usually when you start with your sampling, ano ba yung mga concerns natin? So first is, who do you want to generalize to? Okay, so usually pag mga tourism graduate or hospitality management graduate, ang mga target natin na mga population are resorts, hotels, okay? Hotels, resorts, or kaya mga tourist destination. Pupuwedeng dito locally, pupuwedeng hindi dito sa partido, pupuwede rin nationwide or pupuwedeng outside, okay? Ayan, so who do you want to generalize to? So basically, this is your theoretical population. Okay? Then you have what population can you get access to? So when you start with your data gathering, you again, I've mentioned this in our first day of classes na you don't gather data sa lahat ng respondents mo ng population. So you just get a subset of your population. So that is your study population. And then how you can get access to them. Okay, so it's important na you have the list of your population, and then from the list of your respondents of your population, okay, that we call that your sampling frame. Doon tayo pipili nung samples natin or your respondents natin. So usually sa sampling frame natin, naka-indicate dyan ano yung sampling unit natin and your sampling methods to be used. And then who is in your study? Again, basically this consists na your respondents or your sample. So usually when you determine your sample, it's important that you consider ano ba yung nature ng population ninyo, ano yung features ng population ninyo for you to be able to determine ano yung appropriate na sampling method or sampling design that we're going to apply. Okay, so there are different types of sampling, categorized as either probability or random sampling. So this consists of the following: the simple random, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and cluster multi-stage sampling. And then we also have your non-probability sampling. Pag sinabi nating non-probability sampling, examples nito, we have the convenience sampling, purposive, we have the quota, and then the snowball sampling. Okay? Okay, so let's go back. So pag sinabi nating probability sampling or random sampling, usually the respondents of your population, each respondents of your population has an equal chance of being chosen. So pag gumagawa tayo ng mga formal papers like the thesis, sa mga scientific papers, technical papers, usually ang sinasuggest dyan is to use a probability or random sampling, okay, as much as possible. And then non-probability sampling naman, of course, your respondents is not chosen randomly. So basically, there are reasons behind it kung bakit hindi possible ang pagpili ng mga respondents natin randomly. Okay, so let's start with your probability sampling. So let's start with the first type of probability sampling. That's your simple random sampling. Okay, so wait lang. Okay, so mag-a-admit muna ako kasi may... Ayan, so lahat na yata, na-admit ko na. Hopefully, wala nang pumasok para hindi na ma-interrupt. Okay, so let's have your Let's start with your simple random sampling. Kailan natin ina-apply ang simple random sampling? Okay? So, let's check na rin yung ni-research natin kung if we have the same features of a simple random sampling. Ginagamit natin ang simple random sampling if population is homogeneous and not too large. Okay, what do you mean pag sinabi natin homogeneous? Pag sinabi natin homogeneous, yung population natin has common feature. Okay? And not too large, hindi masyadong malaki. Okay, so for example, your class. Do I consider your class as homogeneous and not too large? Can I apply simple random sampling? Okay, yung not too large, pwede kasi you're just 30 plus in class. And homogeneous, what makes you homogeneous? Okay, lahat kayo mga HM students. Okay? So if there's a specific feature that is common to all, then that population can be considered as homogeneous. Okay? Okay. Another condition is that dapat daw pag mag-apply tayo ng simple random, we should have a complete list of all elements of the population. Okay? Okay, so yan. So if you will be using the simple random sampling, there are actually 3 methods to choose or to use in selecting your respondents. Of course, you have your lottery method or chip in the box or fish in the bowl. You have your table of random numbers. You have calculator generated and software generated. Okay, let's have the first one. Okay, lottery method. So sa lottery method, all you have to do is you have the list of your respondents of the population. You ask each of them to write their names sa piece of paper. And then you fold the paper and then ilalagay nyo lang dun sa box. Okay, so another tawag dito sa lottery method is chip in the box or fish in the bowl. Okay, chip in the box. So you put it in a box, you shake it, and then you choose your respondents. Another term na tinatawag dito is the lottery method. So if you have watched yung sa mga loto, how they choose the winning number, di ba? Nagro-roll yung mga bola, and then meron isang parang machine, and then kung ano yung sumabit na bola, that becomes your winning number. Okay? So it's as simple as that. Kaya siya tinawag na simple random sampling because the methods in choosing your respondent is very simple. And kaya imagine niyo, 'di ba sa isa sa mga features ng population natin is not too big, not too large kasi para madaling ma-administer yung lottery method or the chip in the box method. Okay, another method of choosing your respondents is by the use of the table of random numbers. Okay, so yung table dito sa left side is just an excerpt of a table of random numbers. Ang totoong table of random numbers contains hundreds of columns, napakaraming numbers. So, nag-choose lang tayo ng, this is just an excerpt just to demonstrate how to use the table of random numbers. Okay, paano ba natin ito ginagamit? Suppose ang population natin is 500, okay? And then we are asked to choose for demonstration lang. What are the first 5 elements of your sample using the table of random numbers? Okay, so una, tingnan niyo yung population size natin. 500 is a 3-digit number. Okay, so that means kukunin lang natin yung first 3-digit doon sa table of random numbers natin. Okay, so kung titingnan niyo, ang first 3-digit doon sa table natin is 614 or 614. And 614, nasa labas siya ng range ng 500. So, ang magiging range natin dito would be, yung number na pipiliin natin would be from 1 to 500. Okay, 1 to 500. Okay, let's look at the second digit doon sa table of random numbers. Ang susunod na digit doon sa table of random numbers is 902. Nakikita nyo, di ba? 902. Again, nasa labas siya ng range. Nasa labas siya ng 1 to 500. So, we skip. We go to the next. 503 is another number na nasa out of range. 856. And then, the next one is 0, 2, 4, or 24. Okay? 24 is within the range 1 to 500. Therefore, sa ika-24th duman sa list will be your first respondent. Okay? Okay, what do you think will be the next respondent natin using the table of random numbers? Sige nga.
206 po.
Okay, very good. 206 kasi yung 905, in-skip natin yun kasi nasa labas siya ng range. So, second natin would be 206. Sino yung sumagot? May I have your name, please?
Wilfred Gaur po, ma'am.
Okay, so Wilfred. Wilfred, okay? What about the third element of our sample? Yung sumagot kanina,
204 po.
okay, 204. State your name first and then your answer. Who is this, please?
Same pa rin po.
Oh, wag ka na sasagot sa susunod, ha? Okay,
Yes,
wag ka na
ma'am.
sasagot.
Sorry po.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Okay, sino yung next? What about the next one? Who is our fourth respondent using the table?
Ma'am, Harrison Matchong po.
Okay, sige, Arson. Who is our
Tu-
next?
279 po.
Okay, very good. And then the fifth one would be? Sige, babae naman. Sige po. Introduce yourself first and then please answer. Sige, just butt in. Anyone from the class. Okay, who is this?
Jonah J. Aliado po.
Jonah J. Okay, Miss Aliada. Tama? Okay, so is
Aliado po.
Aliado. Sorry Okay na? Okay, so this is our first 5. Si ika-24, 206, 204, 27, and 100. Take note, si mga pinilita, yaw siya duman sa range from 1 to 500. Ma'am, tano ta 500? Kasi ang population size ta is 500. And we only consider the first 3-digit number of the numbers in our table. Kunwari ngayon, nagkataon na ang sa population ta is 1,000, then ang i-consider tamang kayo, si first 4-digit katong table ta. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so the first one is lottery method. The second one is table of random numbers. The third one is calculator generated. So si may mga calculator na ngunyan, all you have to do is just follow this syntax. So for example ngaya, ang population size mo is 30, ang gigibuon mo kaya using the calculator, mapindot ka lang ng 30, shift, tapos run, and then my number. Sa lower part kang calculator nindo, mahahanap nindo yan. And then just press that one, and then may maluwas dyan na mga random numbers. Okay? You can try that na lang next time. And then the last one is the software generated. So may mga softwares kita para makakuha kita ng sample size. Okay, so I'll demonstrate it to you. And at the same time, I will also check our Google link, Google Meet kasi may mga iba na may mga pumapasok pa lang yata. Okay, sige, wala na. Okay, so I'll show you this software. I actually use this pag nagsasampling ako. Sorry, ang daming naka-open. Wala. Ayan. Okay, so this software is called Simplified Statistics for Beginners. Okay, nakakita nyo class yung nasa screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I can give you free installer of this one. So ito naman, ang pipindutin mo lang is the descriptive tapos samples. Ayan, so makikita mo dyan, yung capital N, kunwari lang 500. Pag pinindot natin yan, ang makikita nyo sa baba, ang kailangan daw natin na sample size is 222. Tapos, paano natin pipiliin yung 200? Kunwari, may listahan ng kamukay kang 500 na mga respondents. Paano nyo pipiliin si 222? Ipipress lang nyo in generate. Ayan. So, mahiling nyo dyan. Di ko na kaya pwedeng ma-zoom. Ang first tang respondent, si ika-416. Okay, 416. Ang ika-2, si 70. Ikatulo, 351. And so on and so forth. Si 222 na yan. Okay, so you can actually choose your respondents through software generated. Okay, so that's it. So I'll continue. And then I'll go back to our screen because some of us are... Okay, may mga pumapasok pa kasi although hindi ko na nakikita yung iba. Okay. So I'll go back to my PowerPoint. Ayan, okay? So there are 4 methods na under simple random sampling. Meron tayong, so ulitin ko lang kanina, lottery method or the chip in the box or fish in the bowl. Meron din tayong table of random numbers. Meron din tayong soft calculator generated, and you have your software generated. Okay? That is simple random sampling. Again, kailan natin siya ginagamit? Ginagamit natin siya pag your population is not too large and your population is homogeneous. Okay. So these are, again, nasa may sampling methods pa lang tayo. Pero yung pagpili mismo ng sample size, pira bang respondents, I'll discuss that later on. Okay, let's go to stratified. Okay, kailan natin to ginagamit? Okay, this time, ang population bako nang sadit, but we have a large population and your population is heterogeneous. Okay, pag sinabi nating heterogeneous, magkakaiba-iba na features nila. So for example ang population ko are students of PSU Goa. Yan, pwede ko na sabihin na heterogeneous ang population Why? Bakit heterogeneous? Kasi ang mga students sa PSU Goa, iba't iba ang mga course ninda, 'di ba? Iba't iba ang mga age, iba't iba si mga place of residence. Ang iba diyan taga Goa, ang iba diyan taga Tigaon, 'di ba? Taga San Jose. Okay, so heterogeneous na. Ngunyan, ano ang ginigibo kang stratified sampling? So kung hihiling mo na ang figure, pigo-group niya ang population into homogeneous population or homogeneous strata or subgrouping. So ibig sabihin, pwede nga yan si mga estudyante dito sa PSU, i-group ko nga by course. Gabos na civil gabos na accounting, gabos na bio. Okay, so bawat subgroupings ko niyan nagiging ng homogeneous. Okay, so that's the idea of stratified sampling. Okay, narin tani ginagamit tani pag kaipuhan taning representative bawat subgroupings. Okay, pag itong study mo, kaipuhan mo ng representative bawat subgroupings. For example, ang gusto ko ngayong adalan, si mga hotels kang urban saka rural areas. Okay? Ang stratifying variable ko, itong urban saka rural. Since I want to compare both, kaipuhan ko magkuading representative or respondents sa urban, ma-represent kang urban, and then ma-represent kang rural. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Sa stratified sampling class, ugwadi kintang duwang types. You have the equal allocation saka proportional allocation. Okay, wait lang nai-interrupt ako kang sound. I don't know kung may gustong maglaog. Ayan. Kasi just inform your classmates, those who want to. Okay, sige, I'll admit all. Ayan. May pumapasok pa kasi. This is what I'm saying. Nai-interrupt yung class natin pag may mga late tayong pumapasok. Okay, let's continue. Okay. There are two types of stratified sampling. You have the equal allocation and proportional allocation. Okay. Let us discuss this one. I'll demonstrate it. Okay. For example, ang population is grouped into 3. Dito na muna i-indicate ko ano ang stratifying variable nila. Kung group ba sinda according to age, according to economic status. Okay, basta group siya into 3. Group 1 contains 75 respondents, group 2 100, ang group 3 65. Total of 240. Okay, so later on i-demonstrate ko sa inyo si pagpili kang sample size. Okay, so kaya kitang software itong RAWSoft. Ang RAWSoft, all you have to do is just i-input mo lang dyan ang population size mo and then makukuha mo na dyan ang sample size. So, duman sa RAWSoft, ang niluwas ng sample size is 148. Okay, 148. So, sa population na 240, 148 lang ang sample. Pag sinabi class equal allocation, from the term itself equal, ang 148 mo, since you have three groups, all you have to do is just divide that by 3. Okay? So, approximately 49.33 or approximately 49. So, ibig sabihin, equal ang number of respondents per group. So, ang kaipuhan mo lang dyan is, ang sample size mo is 49 sa group 1, 49 sa group 2, 49 din sa group 3. Kasi equal allocation. Okay? Okay. So, all you have to do, kung pirang groups yan, then that will be your denominator. Okay, so let's continue. What about proportional allocation? So balikan ta si same lang data, Mahiling class dito sa tulong grupo, pinakadakol ang group 2, dikit ang group 3. So pag sinabi tang proportional, ang sample size should be proportional to the number of respondents per group. So ibig sabihin, kung dakol ang group 2, Dakol man kita dyan na kung ano na sample. So, dikit lang yan sa group 3, dikit lang ang kung ano ta dyan. It should be proportional to the number of respondents per group. Okay, so parehas pa rin ang sample size ta using the Rao-Soft. Ang sample size ta is 148. Okay, so digdi sa 148, pira kaya dyan ang kung ano ta sa group 1, group 2, saka group 3. Okay, so this will be the formula. So, ang group 1, itong number of respondents dyan, that's 75 over the total of 240. And then, i-multiply ta po yan duman sa sample size na nakuata using the Rao-Soft, itong 148. Okay? So, ulitin ko ha. Si number of respondents ta sa group 1, that's 75, over the total na 240. And then, we multiply that by 148. 148 is the sample size. Okay? So, you have 46.25 or approximately 46. Ano tapi ground off ta? Ano tapi ground off ta si sample size ta? Kasi, ang sample size ta class is discrete. Diba? Naalala nyo, itong difference kan discrete saka continuous. Pag sinabi tang discrete is always whole number because discrete is countable. Okay? Okay, let's have group 2 naman. Okay, same lang ang procedure ta. Si group 2 has 100 respondents over the grand total over 240 times 148. So, ang nagluluwas dyan is 61.66 or again, we round off sa whole number so you have 62. And then lastly, you have group 3 that is 65 over 240, okay, times 148. So, we have 40.04 or again, we round off ta, magiging na siyang 40. Okay, so pilipirming rounded off sa whole number pag sample size because sample size is discrete. Ayan. Okay, so that's proportional allocation. Your activity will be on the application of this particular method. See equal allocation and proportional allocation. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next. Systematic sampling. Although hindi ko to binigay as an assignment, pero usually kaya class pag ining method na hindi, this is seldom used in research. Pero just to demonstrate, pag sinabi na kayong systematic sampling, you have your group of respondents, may mga respondents ka, meron kang list ng population mo, and then meron ka lang particular interval. Kunwari nga, every fifth in the list would be your respondents. For example, in this demonstration, si ikatulong respondents will be your respondents. So if you start at 3, so 3, 4, 5th, si ikatulo dyan would be, so kasi ika-5th naman sa list would be respondents, and then yung second naman, again, you count, ang interval nito will be every third interval. Okay? So, nagko-compute kita ng kth interval to get your number, to get your particular respondents. Okay, so I will not discuss much on this one. You can just check the PowerPoint. Okay, and then we go to cluster or multi-stage sampling. Sa cluster sampling naman, okay, cluster sampling, okay, I want you to look at the population. So, duman sa population ta, kung hilong do, it is grouped into 6 groups. So, anong difference nito dun sa stratified? Ang cluster sampling class, large pa rin ang population and heterogeneous. Okay, take note, it's the same as the stratified sampling. Pareho silang large, parehong heterogeneous. Pero, this time, pag group ta itong elements of your population, di ba? Pag ang stratified, once you have grouped them, bawat subgroupings natin becomes homogeneous. This one, the E. Ang population ta is grouped into heterogeneous subgroupings or clusters. Okay? Kahit na may mga subgroupings ang population ta, bawat subgroup or bawat cluster ta is still heterogeneous, unlike the stratified sampling. So, ang mangyayari kay ni class, for example, dito sa figure natin, meron tayong 6 subgroupings. Unlike the stratified, wherein kumukuha tayo ng representative from each subgroups, dito hindi. From the 6 subgroups, mapili lang nga kamong duwa or saro. So, in the figure, nagpili lang siya dumaning duwang subgroups out of 6 subgroups or clusters in the population. And then, from the 2 clusters, dumang ka mo randomly mapili kang respondents nindo. So, you don't need representative from each clusters or from each subgroupings. Okay? So, out of 6, nagpili lang ka mo ning duwa. Okay, ang example kay ni class, kunwari nga idi nga sa GOA. Okay, ang GOA, ang mga sabihin ta ng voters nga digdi sa GOA. Ang mga voters digdi sa GOA is considered as heterogeneous. And voters in GOA, the population of the voters in GOA is very large. Okay? Ang gagamiton tango niya na clusters or subgrouping variable would be your barangay. Okay? So, isa dito ang mga taga-GOA. Pira ang barangay digdi sa GOA. Sige, anybody? Isa mga SK digdi. Sige, please answer na lang.
34 po, ma'am.
Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, itong 34 mo, yan ang magiging cluster mo. Okay, kunwari makanda ka ngayon study, ang gagamitin mo, cluster sampling. So, duman sa 34 na barangay, mapili ka lang dyan ng tulo. Or si pagpili kaya kung tulo, dua, apat, na-decide kaya yan, minsan it's decided upon by the advisor. So, pwede nga yan, magmakuha ka ngayon kayong sarong representative sa urban, magkuha ka din sarong representative nga sa coastal, magkuha ka ngayon sarong representative nga sa rural, mga arkayan. Okay? Or mapili ka ngayon, arin nga din si barangay na dakula ang populasyon. So mapili kang duwang barangay na dakula ang populasyon, and then duwang barangay man nasa ditla ang populasyon. So si apat na barangay ang magiging clusters mo. Tapos diyan ka randomly mapili kang respondents mo. That is cluster sampling. Pero kung ngayon i-apply ko ngayon stratified sampling, ang mangyayari kin sa stratified sampling, bawat barangay makuha ako ng respondents. That is stratified. Okay? Pero data nga dyan isasuggest ang stratified kasi bawat barangay iba't iba din ang mga features ka mga respondents, bako man homogeneous. That is why the appropriate sampling for that would be the cluster sampling. Okay? Kasi bawat barangay, bawat voter sa kada barangay, iba't iba din ang mga characteristics nila. They are considered still as heterogeneous. So we just choose a number of clusters or subgroupings duman sa population kang wherein we're going to apply the cluster sampling. Okay? So that is cluster sampling. Hopefully we have differentiated yung pinaka three major random sampling natin, the simple random, the stratified, and then the cluster. Okay. Okay, so I will not be discussing each one of this one, the strength and the weaknesses. Okay, so just read kung ano yung mga strength and weaknesses ng simple random, systematic, stratified, and cluster sampling. So let's go to the non-probability. Okay, as much as possible, if you're going to do your thesis, as much as possible, we avoid applying non-probability. Kasi nga, in non-probability, your respondents are not chosen randomly. So, pwede kasi siyang hindi maging good representative ng population mo. Okay? But sometimes there are cases wherein it's not possible for us to apply the random sampling. That's why researchers or students opt to use the non-probability. Okay? So, the first non-probability sampling method is the convenience. So, in some books, parehas lang ang convenience saka purposive. Okay? With convenience, purposive, tapos meron pa lang isa. Anyway, sa convenience naman, from the term itself, usually class, pag non-probability, mayo man ding formula. So kung ano si term niya, that is actually the process of choosing your respondents. So convenience, ano si process na di ka na magastos, di ka na mapapagal. Okay? Kunwari ngayon, makandak ka ng survey. You have this list of students. So, imbes na, if you want to use convenience sampling, all you have to do is just distribute your questionnaire among your classmates. Why? Kasi di mo nahahanapon si mismong mga respondents mo, kaibanan mo na duman. Diba? Tapos, ikadwa, di ka naman magastos. Kasi, once na may klase man ka mo, common man lang si mga subjects, and all you have to do is just distribute your questionnaire. So, that's convenience sampling. Minsan, di ba, may mga taste test kita sa mga grocery ngaya. They want to check if their products is if the taste of their products is favorable to the respondents. Mahalag lang sila ning pwesto sa harapan ka mga convenience store or mga malls, and then duman na sila nagkakandak ng survey to check kung ano si magiging reaction kang mga respondents duman sa product na. So that's convenience sampling. Okay? Dawa itong mga text vote or text survey through text, that is considered as convenience sampling. Kasi, very convenient na sa part kang researcher, din na nga siya magastos, pero kaipuhan niya lang ng load. Bakit natin siya tinawag as non-probability? Kasi ang pwede lang mag-participate sa araw kitong mga survey, si may mga cellphone, si may mga load, si may mga internet connection. Pag mayo ka itong mga bagay na to, they ka makaka-participate naman sa particular survey na to. So, that is considered as non-probability sampling method. Okay? And then the next one is the quota sampling. Ang pag sinabi tang quota, si researcher si nagsaset kang number of respondents. Dahil na siya nagagamit ng mga formula. Okay? Dapat ngayon may formula kita. Magamit nga kita yung Cochrane's formula or the Slovin's formula. Anong basihan niya kang pag-set ng quota? Kasi ito ang nafe-feel niyang marireach niya lang na number of respondents. So that is considered as non-probability. Kasi minsan, pag nag-set ka nga yan ng 50 lang nga, minsan, ang nagiging purpose mo lang is, maparapili ka lang ng mga respondents, di man siya qualified respondent, ang purpose mo is, dapat ma-meet ko lang si quota ko or si target number of respondents without considering kung qualified bang respondents kung yan or the Okay, so ito nagsiset kang target sample size mo. And then the purpose sampling is the same with the convenience sampling. Ikaw yung nagsiset ng criteria ng respondents mo, characteristics ng respondents mo, wherein magiging madali sa iyo ang pag-gather mo ng data. Okay, ang snowball naman, garo man lang ni networking. Okay? Kunwari ngayon, wag kang questionnaire. Sa klase tangaya, wag ngayang duwa or tulo kang qualified na respondent. So, tinawan mo sila, pinasimbagan mo siya ng questionnaire. And then after that, tinawan mo ngaya si tulong respondent mo ng 10 questionnaires each. And then sasabihin mo, pagpuli mo ngayon sa harong nindo, tawan mo ngayon si mama mo, si papa mo, si mga tugang mo, pasimbagon mo. Kung naka-star ka ngayon sa dormitory o boarding house, tawan mo nga si mga dormmates mo, si mga kaibadang mo sa boarding house. In that case, pwede si matawan mong questionnaire is not a qualified respondent. So that is a non-probability sampling method. Although there are cases wherein nagiging valid ang paggamit ng snowball sampling. Okay? For example, may mga sensitive issues kita or sensitive yung mga studies natin. For example, may na-encounter ako before na estudyante, ang topic niya is on the use of prohibited drugs among college students. So, ang ginamit niya is snowball sampling. So, duman sa study niya, may mga bistado lang siyang pira, dikit lang, and then, si mga bistado niya, pigsabihan niya na, pwede ako magpatabang, mag-distribute ka mga questionnaire. Total, kamo, may mga bistado ka mo nagagamit. And of course, if that is a sensitive issue, you will always assure your respondents of confidentiality. So, dapat, di mo sasabihon si mga i-disclose kung si mga identity ninda. Okay, so that is snowball sampling. Okay, so again, you just read this one. Okay, so any questions so far? Are you still with me? Sige, may I hear some replies from the students?
Yes,
okay, so madali na
ma'am.
makitang matapos. Okay, so these are the non-probability sampling methods. Okay, so natapos na kita duman sa mga sampling methods. Ma'am, paano maaram kung pira ang kaipuhan ng respondents, pira ang minimum number of respondents. Okay, so din nando kaipuhan mag-compute. Okay, may introduce ako sa indong formula. Okay. Okay, sige. Ipo-pause ko muna ito. Ayan. Okay. So, the formula here would be, I'll share it later and it's just here. Okay, so may ginapot kita itong Raosoft. Okay, that is a software. I will share it to you guys. Para at least ma-open nindo dyan sa ano nindo. I-share ko to dyan sa website lang ini. Di man nindo ni Cape1 i-install. Okay, so this is just a website. All you have to do is just open that one. Okay, so I'll share my screen again. Okay. Although, pag isang device lang kasi yung gamit ninyo, hindi siya Anyway, panoorin nyo na lang muna ito. Okay, so free and software na yan. Okay? Ayan. So, Raosoft, sample size calculator. This makes make use of the formula, Cochran's formula. Okay, Cochran's. So, mahiling doon dito sa first box, margin of error na 5, data na nahihiroon. Kasi usually, ang sinasuggest na margin of error pa nagsasampling is 5%. Ining susunod na confidence level or confidence confidence level, 95%, data na rin yan hihiroon. Okay? So, inot na first 2, ining 5 saka 95, we're not going to change that one. And then, dito sa ika-fourth, wag muna dun sa population size, what is the response distribution? We leave this as a 50% lang. Data ni hihiroon. Okay? So, duman kita sa population size. Okay? So, hindi kita lag kang input. Okay, for example, nga ang population ta 500. So, papalitan mo lang siya, gawin mo siyang 500. Okay. Tapos, enter. Ay. Ito. Ayan. So, makikita mo dito sa baba, your recommended sample size is 218. Yan po ang minimum number of sample size. Okay? Minimum number. As much as possible. Then, nakatapi pwede magbaba dyan. Pwede more than, basta they pwedeng below 218. Okay, so ganun lang kadali. So for example, ngayon, I have 300 population. So ang ko lang is 169. Okay, 169 lang. So ita-type nyo lang dyan. Okay, for example, I have 400. So you will only be needing 197. Ganun lang kadali. Okay? So pag nag-actual survey ka mo, class, ini 197 na ni, sobrahanin do mga 20. 10 to 30 respondents. So, sobrahanin do. Sa actual ha, bakit? Kunwari ining 197, gigibon ko nga yung 220 respondents or 210, nagpasobra ako more than 10. Bakit? Kasi minsan, pag nagre-retrieve na kataning questionnaire, data yan 100% nakukuha. Okay, may mga iba dyan, abo mag-participate, or minsan man nakabalik si questionnaire mo, pero katong picture check mo na, dakulan mga items duman na, di man nila sinimbagan. So, sayang lang. Minsan kaya, pag may mga missing items kita, dito na siya kino-consider duman sa final list. Unless gusto mo mabalik ka para i-kompleto to. So, that's gonna be additional expenses on your part. Okay? So, sa actual survey, palagi tang susobrahan na compute ang recommended sample size. Okay? Okay. Ayan. Okay, so do you have any questions so far? Sige, please open your cam before I dismiss the class. Paki-open ng cam. Okay, sige, Mr. Wilfred.
Ma'am, malabo po ang front kang camera ko po.
So hindi mo siya masyadong nakita.
Yes
Wait lang.
po.
Wait, I'll stop recording muna.